Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing today? Um, this today is going to be pretty much, it's going to be fairly short. The reason being is tomorrow we have Fed's report. So entering into the market before the Fed's report, some people can kind of do it, but it's almost like a flip of a coin. I'm gonna show you some levels, but it really doesn't matter when you have earnings report. And I consider the Fed's report an earnings report of the market, meaning if he comes out with a certain number that everybody likes, the market will shoot up. If he comes out with something that everybody hates, the market will drop down. Regardless of levels, it's going to have some type of reaction. So the most important thing I'm going to be looking for tomorrow is the close because closes are way more important than opens. And opens are important, and you can play the opens, but the closes mean way more. Meaning, if a session ends below or above a particular level, that's going to tell you a whole lot. Whether it's a daily candle, whether it's a weekly candle, whether it's a monthly candle, those candles matter on how they close and where they close. So I'm gonna go over some of the things to show you what I'm looking for. I'm gonna show you some intraday levels I might be looking for, but I'm gonna take them off my chart because I'm not really gonna be doing intraday. I have no problem with simply just saying I'll trade on Wednesday. Today was a great day. Today, I mean not trade on Wednesday, I'll trade on Thursday. Today, some things went straight to levels, straight to markers that we talked about, touched it, and then bam, reversed. As long as you know your levels, as long as you know your locations, what do we say here on this particular channel? The trend is your friend, but location is your family. The trend is your friend, but location is your family. As long as you trade at the right locations, even on days like tomorrow, where we're gonna have Fed's report, you know fairly quickly if you're right or wrong. The only problem is with a Fed's report, once a report comes out, it's gonna move so fast and so dramatic sometimes that your stop losses and all of that, it just doesn't work. So I have no problem with just sitting back. There's a 200 and something days to trade in a year. If I miss a day or two, it doesn't really matter. Let's get going. Let's share. You know me. I talk to you through the charts. That's all we do, man. I don't talk about nothing that we can't see on the chart, and then we move from there. All right. Here we go. All right, guys. Let's get into it. Okay. Um okay, here we go. So let's go to the SPY real quick. What is going on? They have something. Okay, there we go. I think Zoom just created something new lately. Let's just maximize everything and what we're talking about. So I know there's a lot of lines, but I'm gonna take a couple of lines off. But I wanted to put them on there so you can see them. But I'm gonna take them off so I can make sense. So if you look at this particular the SPY, we got oversold, we bounced up, and we created this doji can not doji, this engulfing candle. Remember, we closed below this weekly engulfing candle. Let me show you this one so you can make sure you remember. So remember this candle right here. Hold on one second. This bottom black candle was created. Man, my bad. Was created from this candle. This was our first engulfing candle. This candle was bigger than this candle, and we was waiting for a close above here or a close below here. What happened was we finally got this candle that closed below this particular candle on pretty good volume. So this candle closed below that candle. We got that. Now, that was on a Friday. So Monday kind of drips up, kind of drips up. But then this candle created another engulfing candle that's this candle's bigger than this candle. So technically, we're waiting for something to close above here or close back below this low. Now, the problem that you're having right now is a lot of stuff is kind of jumbled up, and the market kind of wants to go somewhere, but it's not a clean way in how it's going about it. So what we're going to do is you have the Feds, which is a lot of reason why a lot of this stuff is being held. And I was looking for a close above this blue line or a close below this blue line. A close above will let me know that we're probably trying to get that back to the all time, not back to the 20 or close below me. And this is just a little dead cat bouncing and we about to start rolling back over. Now, this is an intraday level that I have right here, but I'm about to take this off because I'm not really going to play intraday levels. I'm gonna just wait for the close. The only level that I might look at might be if we get above the high from yesterday and probably play it and see if it starts to roll. But I might try to get out before earnings or whatever. I mean before the Fed. Now remember, this red line is from December 17th. If you look at my past films, this is just a line from a ways back from December 17th. of last year. But right now, all I'm looking for is a close above here or a close below here, which tells me which direction it's trying to go. It's still bearish. We're still below the 20 moving average. Let's see where we are on the weekly. And we're still below 20 moving average on the week. So we're still just bearish. There's nothing really telling you that it's time to just start leaning into it. But that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm going today is gonna be a boring day. I'm not gonna give you too many major levels to look for. Now you can look for the high from yesterday. If we break the high from yesterday, and you might be able to play that. But we got to get some closes, and I'm looking for some major closes to give us some clarity on some stuff. Let's see what the Qs are doing. All right, so this is what the Qs did yesterday. It went right to a level that we had drawn up, which was 605. There was a gap right here, the gap between here and here. As you see, it went right to the 20 moving average, which is where the gap is, and then it stopped and then rejected. All right. Now I do have a line here for intraday for the Qs, meaning we start getting below 606, 601.64. That might mean something. But as you see, this particular engulfing candle, the difference between here and the SPY is we never closed above it, we never closed below it. We still are inside of this particular engulfing candle. Nothing has happened to tell us to go up or down. We're still in between there. And then if you look at the weekly, the weekly gave us a beautiful, like I say shooting star, but it's almost like a spinning top right at the 20 moving average. So the reality is on this particular candle, we need to break the higher here or the lower here. So you kind of have two areas where it's kind of just in between. Now that might be the Fed, more than likely it is, and people trying to see what's going on with the Fed and what their sayings are regarding the economy. But that's the reality. These candles are telling you the locations and where you should feel a much cleaner, safer trade. I like this 601.64, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and I'm not gonna do any intraday trading for the most part. So I'm done with that. Not doing anything with the Qs tomorrow, and we already closed that particular gap. I'm done with that as well. So all I'm doing is looking at the Qs and seeing if the Qs are going to stay in between the levels, going to break out above a level. Are we going to close above 609, this candle eventually? Don't know yet. Just sit back, watch, relax, and see what happens. And I have no problem with staying away from the fray. Even if it's a violent move up or down, I have no problem with it. Right now, the trend is down. The locations are kind of cloudy due to the Fed tomorrow. So any location I give you tomorrow can just be disregarded. Once the Fed comes out with their news, they can blow through those and have no reaction at them. So that's not how I trade. If there's no location that I feel like I can use due to news that's going to be coming out, I'll sit back, watch, and chill. All right. IWM. So IWM is almost the same thing exactly. So I have a level of 250, 252.95, right? So uh first, this candle right here on the weekly, this is the main candle. You want to get above this candle or below this candle. This candle is the candle that's going to tell you we're going to drop down more, or we're going to pop back up. Okay. This candle, it's called a spinning bottom. I just call it spinning bottoms. If it was at the top, it'd be a shooting star, but it's all the same thing, same rules. At the top of it, the bottom of it. Because it was at the right location, right at the 20 moving average, right? So we're currently below the 20 moving average on the weekly, which is bearish. And we are currently below the 20 moving average on the daily, which is also bearish. Now, same thing occurs. We have this engulfing candle, the big engulfing candle that we was looking at for all of them. We never got above it. We never closed above it. We never closed below it. It is what it is. We haven't done anything, right? So there is a level in which this may mean something if we close above it, but we really got to get above this particular candle. Now, this particular candle on the way down might trigger something, 248.97. But I could take that candle away and just not even look at it anymore just because it's an intraday candle. What did I say about intraday candles for tomorrow? They don't ma they don't matter. I need to see the closes. Intraday candles tomorrow does not matter because you have major news coming out. Moving averages, none of that stuff matters. Once the news comes out, disregard it because people are going to get positioning whether they taking profit, they taking losses, whatever, it can get wild in here. Sometimes it doesn't move at all, which is cool. Then that gives me Thursday to kind of understand and process it. You have two things. You have the Fed's decision, and then at 2:30, you have Chairman Powell talking about his decision. So both, I've seen the market go up on the decision at 2 o'clock and then turn right back around once he got to talking at 2:30. So I'm kind of just tomorrow. I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna see what's going on, see what the market's doing, come back to the charts and see what the charts tell me if I got to close or an open. There's a situation in here where we might just have a doji and nothing happened. That's definitely possible where the market goes up, down, and then ends up in the middle, which is the worst thing for a trader that's actually taking a position. Now, if you selling premium, yeah, that's probably great. But if you're taking a direction, that's hard. That's hard to play that. So I'm gonna just chill. Let's just see what happens. Nothing major happened. We still haven't broken this particular engulfing candle. Hope you guys are learning some stuff. Make first, before we keep going, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, give me a comment, make sure you send it to a friend, whatever you want to do as we get going and as we get rolling. Hopefully you learn some things and hopefully you feel like we kind of know what we're talking about. Okay. We just want to be part of your process. We don't want to be your process. We just want to be part of your process and how you trade and what you're looking at. And hopefully some of the things that we're talking about gives you a little bit more clarity. That's all you need. If I can improve your trading by just a little bit, that's the difference between you being profitable and you becoming financially set in your trading. It doesn't take that much of a percent. Now, this is the one that's interesting. So we tried to get up here. Let me shrink this down. This is the Dow. So I have a level on the Dow too. So let me do my thing. So this is another engulfing candle right here. And then we haven't closed above or below this candle right here. This one opened way up here and then it closed way down here. Now, I have two levels. I have a level, this location that I'm looking at, close above. That means we should be moving up, or close below here. That means we should be moving down. Intraday, there's a level of 469.88 that I'll be looking at, but guess what? Let's go ahead and delete that. It doesn't matter. Intraday will not matter tomorrow because the market, if it wants to fly up or fly down, the computers can't even keep up with those locations at all. Now, when it's quiet, those locations will mean something, but tomorrow they're not gonna mean a damn thing. So we did close below this engulfing candle. That's why everything we closed below this on these candles right here. Now it created another engulf. So this one resembles a SPY, while IWM and the Qs look IWM and the Qs candles look similar, while the SPY and the Dow Jones look similar. So same concept. We're trying to find levels that get above that. We might turn back around and come right back down. See if it's a dead cat bounce. We'll have to recognize it and see what's going on. If the market moves dramatically up or down, I'm cool with it. I'll just make money on Thursday. Because I only day, just like I told you guys, I only day trade the SPY, the Qs, and IWM. I might swing trade some all-time high stuff, and that's pretty much how I trade. That's all I do. I day trade the indexes and I swing trade all-time highs of stocks. That's all I do. It's such a very easy strategy for myself. Okay, so now we just went through the indexes to show you exactly what's going on. They're trending down. They might go sideways until the 20 catches it, or they might snap up to the 20 and then turn back around. But they are what they are. So let's go over to our canaries. Now our canaries are going to tell us a story, right? And we gotta get a story within the story. So let's get to the emerging markets. Let's break this down. So emerging markets. Okay, kind of going south. It's in between levels. It's going sideways. It bounced off a previous all-time high. It's just kind of going sideways. It hasn't gotten above the 20 moving average on the daily. I have a level up here. That's about it, guys. Emerging markets is kind of going sideways. It's like it's waiting for something. It's waiting for something. Let's look at EFA. Okay, boom. We never got to close above this particular candle. We're still inside of this engulfing candle. This looks very similar to the Qs. The Qs and what I say, Qs and IWM, the same thing. We didn't get a close below it. We didn't get a close above it. So we're just kind of in a sideways pattern. It's still bearish. So we should get some clarity after the Feds, but let's see what the Fed does. Gold. Gold, I have a level of below here or above here. Even though it's below the 20 starting to go sideways and needs some levels that it needs to break. Gold is fighting this particular level. As you see, it closed above 458.93. So it could bounce right back up and go right back up again. To feel comfortable with another breakout, we got to get above 481.31. Once we get above 481.31, then it might start to cook and go all the way back up to the 509 area. But as of right now, it's kind of going sideways, trying to hold on to particular levels. So gold is kind of in a stuck pattern as well. Okay, Bitcoin. Bitcoin has been one of the quiet creepers, right? And it gave us this big, huge drop down. We was waiting for it to break out above this particular high volume candle. We kind of got that, came back, touched the 20, rallied back up, got above particular levels. I had a line above this particular level to keep going. It closed above 4202. So Bitcoin is kind of creepy. It now short term, it's kind of bullish. But the problem is, I think as this gets closer to 20 and the 20 meets each other, that might kick all the way back down on a reversal. Now, the reality is, above this particular weekly candle and filling this particular gap, there's a lot of headway right there. When you start getting up to the 46s, 45, 46s area for IBIT, you're going to have some problems because this is a high volume candle that we didn't break below, we didn't break above yet. We're still in between. Now, this is a weekly candle, so it's still the rules still matter. So I'm just watching it, see how it does. Bitcoin, the Fed might impact it a lot. The Fed can do something, and all of a sudden, Bitcoin drop down 3% in one day. Or you might get information that they really like, and Bitcoin shoot all the way up to close this particular gap, touch the 20 moving average on the weekly, and then from there you got to make decisions. Are we going to go back up, or are we going to drop back down again? So it's going to be interesting. I think Bitcoin's going to be impacted because for some reason the financials are doing some things. Okay, let's look at this. So this is transports. So the transports had a pretty good day. They went up 1.55%. We have this drop down candle. We're getting close to closing above this particular big weekly candle. I have a level right here, close above, and then I have a level right here, close below, will trigger another move back down. So I have 75.17, close above that should trigger some move up, or close back below 74.20. Not looking for intraday moves. I'm just looking to see how things close, what the volume looks like. Now, one thing I do admit, the down days are heavy while the up days are light. There's no volume when it goes up, but there's a lot of damn volume when it drops down. Curious to see in the transport, what made it do all of that? Let me look inside of it. Let me see what made it move. What's the number one transport on the list that had earnings? Not earnings, but okay. Oh, there we go. Delta. That's one of our top 20. Uber, Delta, I believe it's CarMax. No, Budget, my bad. Budget. I said CarMax. I think CarMax is CMAX. That's my fault. So we got a couple of, but Delta is definitely on our top 36 list. So Delta moved up, 0.67%. That's a big, oh, okay. This will be in the report. It moved up on high volume and it broke above particular levels and got back above the 20. So I hope you guys see that. I'm sorry, I'm throwing you guys off. Delta is part of the transport. So for some reason, somebody feels comfortable that either the war is going to cease soon or the travel is open again. But I know airlines and everybody that had international travel was struggling due to the war. So curious to see exactly why that is. But let me go back to let me go back to where we were because I'm gonna get thrown off on a tangent. So yeah, IYT just looking at some particular levels. It didn't do anything in particular for me to feel like, okay, we have arrived, but I'm just being patient. Let's go to RSP. Let's get back to RSP. Okay. Ooh, okay. Now this is cool. RSP today did close above 195.99. It closed at 196.05. That's a positive. If you get continuation tomorrow, it can continue to climb to get back to this 20. That's a positive. Let me see what it looks like on the weekly. Where is it at on the weekly? Okay, we back above the 20 moving average on the week. Okay. Hey. Why you mess around? And this is why you do this. This is why you look at everything. You don't just look at one thing. So the broad market is actually climbing up again. We're back above the 20 on the weekly. We did close above the daily reversal loan. This is the full market. So yeah, I see a little bit of strength right there, man. The market might pop up tomorrow. I don't know. I see a little bit of strength. You want to see continuation, but I have no problem with just sitting back and relaxing. But I do see some strength. I do see some strength right here with this close above this particular level. So now that we close above that particular level, we have to make sure we don't turn around and close below this level. If we close back below this level, that move was a head fake just to drop back down again. SMH. Okay, SMH sideways. Sideways. Nothing major. Look at the moving averages sideways. We have to get above 404 or we got to break below the weekly reversal of 373. So we're really just waiting to see exactly what the market wants to do with the semiconductors. Let's see where we are on the weekly. And we're still, but see, the cool thing about it, we're still bullish. On the weekly, this has not, we're still above the 20. So the reality is this could break, and the next thing you know, within 2 weeks, you're sitting at the all-time highs. That's why you need to know your levels. You need to pay attention to different time frames to see what's going on. The longer the time frame, the more confidence you should be on whatever you see. TLT. Now, this should have the biggest move tomorrow. This is literally the treasuries telling you what to do. This is the treasuries. So if they raise interest rates or keep it the same, TLT more than likely is going to drop. Or if they drop interest rates, TLT will fly up. So I'm watching this closely tomorrow. I'm gonna probably watch. This is probably the one thing I'm going to be watching to see how it reacts before. But sometimes they manipulate it and they make it go up just to drop it once the news come down. So it's almost like buy the rumor, sell the news. They do that all the time. So I like to stay away from that stuff. Sometimes I play it, but I got to get out before the news comes. What we got? Okay, oil. Oil's doing its thing. We still have this huge candle. It hasn't broke below or above, but it sure is creeping, and this is starting to move up. We're up to 115.32. So yeah, it's starting to move up. Oil look like it's trying to break out and keep rocking and rolling. So oil is quietly strong. Look at it. It went 3.19% today. So oil been slowly trucking along, slowly trucking along. The dollar came down. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so it's in a channel right now. The dollar should be impacted tomorrow as well. Treasuries move the dollar and they move TLT. So I'm curious to see what the dollar does tomorrow. As of right now, it's bullish on the daily and it is bullish on the weekly. So I just want to see if it closes above 27.72 or we get below 27.57. Traditionally, the dollar doesn't move that much, but it may. So let's just see what happens. And we almost near the end. Okay, XLE, just like we broke the all-time high on Friday. We closed above it on, my bad, hold on. Did it close above it on Friday? Yeah, we closed above it on Friday with 57.90. We continue that move on the way up today. So energy stocks are letting you know that this energy situation is not over with. So I knew USO was going to turn around, even though it was down on Friday. I was like, it's going to turn around because XLE was breaking all time highs. So that oil thing should probably get to cooking again, but we'll see. We'll see. This is moving up highs, but all time highs. Nothing really can say about that. Now, financials. Now, this is pretty cool, but it's in a weird location. So this red line right here was a level that we were watching that we did not want to get below, right? Obviously, you see we got below, but let me show you where it's coming from. It's coming from all the way over here, right? It's coming from all the way over here back in June and May of 2025, right? So we got below those levels, which means that's not good. We're getting below particular levels. After those levels, we should slide. Now we are getting a little bit of a bounce, but that doesn't really mean anything because we are currently bearish on the daily. As you see, we're below the 20 moving average. So sometimes when you get to a point where you start touching the extremes of being oversold, it's either going to snap back to the 20 to drop back down again, go sideways to wait for the 20 to catch up, or it's going to kind of have an in between of this going and then this is going down and this is going up to meet each other in somewhere in the middle. But this red line has just been touched, 49.79. So we just touched it, but as you see, it rejected that particular line. So we did close above a level that I was looking for a close above, but we ran our head right into a location that once you break it, support now becomes resistance. This might just turn around. So there's two levels I'm looking for. If we get below 49.32, then we're really going to start cooking back down the other way. And I think the Fed's report, the Fed's decision tomorrow is going to impact the banks dramatically. So if the market wants to move, the banks are going to be moved as well as TLT, as well as the dollar, because interest rates impact what the banks are able to do. It gets to a certain point. If interest rates are high, people are not going to lend as much. Or if they drop interest rates, then maybe people start buying a little bit more because they can get a little bit less interest rate for a home, for a car, whatever it is. So I'm just checking this out, and for the most part, I'm looking at how it closes. I'm trying to see what it does with this candle. If it breaks the top of this candle and keep going, or we start to turn back around and break the bottom of that candle, that's going to be very interesting. But watch the financials tomorrow. Definitely watch the financials tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, that is it. I know it was short. It was kind of dry today because we don't really have too much to go by. A lot of stuff is going to be up in the air tomorrow, but that's cool. But that's why we are here to give you some type of clarity. Okay, that's literally all we're doing. So trying to help you understand that if you jump in something, don't be surprised if it rips the other way for you or against you. It's just because the market has a earnings report for the entire market coming up. That's what I call the Fed's decisions. It's an earnings report in the middle of the day that can make the market go up or down in a dramatic fashion. All right, you guys have a great day. We have some new stuff coming out to you pretty soon. But I look forward to seeing you. Look forward to getting with you guys tomorrow, and hopefully we can have a little bit more clarity in general of the market tomorrow after the Fed comes out and after the Fed talks at 2:30. All right, have a good one, y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye.